If I didn't say it clearly enough, right? What took place, the shooting of Charlie Kirk, no matter what you believe about him, no matter which side you are, and I think Rabbi Adam, in your video this week, you talked about this, right? The violence, right? The assassination is abhorrent, right? All aspects of political violence, right? We just have to, again, I've mentioned before, right? The state senator in Minnesota, right, who was shot. It was Speaker of the House who was actually assassinated, the same type of political shooting. And these are all just wrong. And if you don't have that sense of empathy and sense of pain, then you are not a human being. On Rosh Hashanah, I'm going to talk about, by the way, my main sermon is going to be about the impact that this divisiveness is having in our society and in our families. So this moment for me is like the nekudah, the point of the sermon that I had been working on for the last month, and all the more so will prove the relevance. And you'll hear me speak about that on Rosh Hashanah. But about the curses, and then I'll come into the next section. It talks about social responsibility, right? That we want a society in which those curses are not acceptable, right? That's what the Amen is about. Is everybody says unacceptable, and we accept ourselves in a social contract to make sure that that doesn't happen. So that's the role of the people. That's our role. Now, what about the role of the leadership? I want you for that to turn to page 1105. And by the way, when I say leadership, I don't mean one party. I mean all parties. I mean all people who are in positions of leadership. And so I don't want you to think I'm speaking to any one direction politically, all right? That would be farthest thing from the truth. This is the story of the Eglah Arufah, the beheaded calf. We've talked about this before. When a body is found in between two cities, somebody who's been murdered, and they don't know who committed the murder, they go to the town that's closest, and the elders of that town, not just anybody, but the leaders, the elders of the town have to come out. And there's a horrific ritual of beheading. You actually break the neck of this animal, which is so un-Jewish, right? We're not supposed to cause pain to animals, are we? But that's precisely what we do. And one explanation given is that the people there, the leaders, they feel the actual pain. They see and feel the pain of that person's loss of life, and they experience it through that animal. Is that something? Never become so callous that any murder, you say, it's just another one. Right? Never. But what do the elders say? It's so fascinating. On page 1106. Verse 7, I want you to look at this. Verse 7, 1106. And they shall make this declaration. Our hands did not shed this blood, nor did our eyes see it done. Absolve, O Lord, your people Israel, whom you've redeemed, and do not let guilt for the blood of the innocent remain among your people Israel. And they shall be absolved of the blood guilt. And thus shall you remove from your midst guilt for the blood of the innocent, for you will be doing what is right in the sight of the Lord. And the rabbis ask, what role could these elders, respected people, have had? How could you even think that they should be held responsible for this person who they don't even know and is just murdered? One explanation in the Talmud is this. They make sure to say that the person who was murdered, that we didn't let that person leave our town without food or without providing escort. That we ourselves did not put that person at risk or danger. But there's another interpretation by the Malbim, who is 19th century Ukraine. So modern era, if we will. And he focuses on the murderer, the one who committed the act and who we don't know who it is. And he says, the leaders declare any direct responsibility for not providing the murderer with food or water so that he was led to commit that crime. Isn't that interesting? Either way you look at it, what is this moment of the Eglag Rufah? The leaders are trying to figure out what is their role in the loss of this life. They're trying to figure out, is there something that we did wrong? Is there something that we should have done better? Are we responsible in any way for this act of violence that was committed? That's the Jewish message. Jewish message is to reflect in terms of communal responsibility, right? Of leadership responsibility, of all people responsibility. And yet, what we read about is people blaming each other. Nobody trying to reflect for themselves. I don't know if you feel that. That's what I feel. The month of Elul that we're in is all about reflection. It's all about trying to figure out what is our role in change. Tonight, Slichot, we're going to begin the penitential. Ashamnu, Bagadnu, Galzalnu. And what tenses are those verbs in? They're in the plural. And the rabbis ask the question, what if you didn't do it? What if you're not responsible for it? Do you skip it? They say no. Because there is a communal responsibility that we take for ourselves. We are a community. We are a people. We are a nation. We are a humanity. And we have to reflect on that. Rather than placing blame, rather than more words of anger, more hatred, we need to take a moment to pause, to reflect, to be able to talk, to be able to figure it out, and to be able to live together. That is what it's about. I share with you, there are many different approaches in terms of thoughts about what took place last week. I want to share with you a Jewish one. I wanted to take from the text in our tradition, the rabbis, and put it in a context without any other political context in terms of what took place. There's a Jewish voice to be heard, and I believe we need to hear that.